hello, hello. Welcome to Love Good Lane. My name is Matthew. Thanks for joining me today. We're in the kitchen and we're going to be making cinnamon wedding cake. That's what I call it. Originally known as cinnamon coffee cake. And it is an adaptation of a recipe from this book. It's called The Cake Doctor. It's about 25 years old, a little more than that. And I call it cinnamon wedding cake because I have made this cake as my wedding cake for both of my weddings. Yes, I was married before. And for that one, I did several different shaped fluted bundt pans. I used the bundt pans to make the cakes, and then we put sugar pearls and some candied flowers on them. It was very pretty. And then the second time around, we wanted it to be a little bit more portable because the desserts were buffet style, sort of grab and go. And so we did individual, like little muffin, little cupcake size. But we use the same recipe and it's adaptable. So you can use a tube pan like this. You could use a bundt pan. You could even do it in a traditional round cake pan. You might need two of those, depending. But yeah, so it's really delicious. It's not that hard to do. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about ingredients first. It does use a boxed cake mix. I'm using the Aldi brand. This one's called Baker's Corner, but it's a yellow cake mix. I am reducing my liquid just a little bit because cake mixes nowadays are not as big as they used to be 25 years ago when that recipe was written. So I don't want the batter to be too wet, so I just reduced the liquid a little bit. But we have the box cake mix. We have one package of instant vanilla pudding. This is the 3.4 ounce size. We have 4 eggs. I don't know if you can see it down there. We have a 1/3 cup of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. We have 3/4 cup of vegetable oil, about 1/2 cup-ish of water. And then I'm going to use shortening to grease the pan. And then we need some flour to dust the pan with. And I think that is all we need. So let's get into it. First, let's do this. Let's get our pan prepared. I have preheated the oven to 350. So that's been going behind me. This is a pretty pan, but I do have to make sure that I grease those grooves. It's pretty when it comes out, but if you don't grease it well, it's going to stick. You're going to have trouble getting it out, which we don't want to do. But it'd be the same thing if you're using a bundt pan or a fluted tube pan. Don't forget about those little ridges and nooks and crannies. Okay. That about does it. Just sit that on there for a second. Now I'm going to do this over by the sink in case we lose some out of the pan. I'm not making a giant mess. And I'm going to bring this over here because I'm going to tilt it and get some flour on the center ring, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to take this over here. we're ready to go with the pan. Next up, let's take our 1/3 cup of brown sugar, add in our cinnamon, and I'm going to mix this around. Okay, I think that does it for that. Now let's get going on this. First, we'll put in our cake mix. If I can get it open. Okay. Now we'll do our box of instant vanilla pudding. Bring that a little closer. We'll put in our 4 eggs. Three-quarters cup of vegetable oil. As always, you don't have to worry about writing the recipe down as we go, because I'll have it listed below in the description box. This is about 1/2 cup of water. I reduced that from the 3/4 cup in the recipe because, as I mentioned, cake mixes nowadays are not as large as they used to be. Almost forgot, we need a little vanilla. One teaspoon. And now we just need to mix it all up. Okay, we've got that mixed up. Next up, we've got our prepared pan here. And we want 3 layers of the batter. So approximately 1/3. You don't have to be crazy about it. We're just going to get a layer going at the bottom. And then I'm just using my silicone spatula here a little bit to even it out a skosh. Then we're going to take some of our cinnamon and brown sugar, sprinkle that somewhat evenly at the top. Now you can use about 1/2 of this because there will only be 2 layers of this mixture. Okay, now we need another layer of batter. Oops. You know what? We're gonna do that. Had some drip down the middle. Mistakes happen. No big deal. But I don't want to leave it there because it will burn. So, took care of that. Again, I'm just going to use my... It is a thick, rich batter, but that's why it's so delicious. It'll be nice and moist and flavorful. That's fine. Now we're going to put the remainder of our cinnamon brown sugar. If you don't have enough batter to completely cover the cinnamon brown sugar layer, it's fine. It's going to taste and turn out just fine. You just don't want it sort of clumped up. So that one spot is higher than the other, because that'll affect the bake time. All right. Oops. Some more doodads there. Boy, I was making all kinds of a mess, wasn't I? Okay, this is going to go into the oven that's preheated to 350 for about 35 minutes, at least in this pan that I've used many times before, but I'll bring you back. Okay, we're back. Our cake was in the oven for exactly 35 minutes. Perfect. Let me give you a little peek here. Beautiful. So I have a little cake releaser. This is a Pampered Chef item. You could use a thin knife. I'm going to run this around the outside. This has been cooling for about 15 or 20 minutes. You don't want to try to do this right when it comes out of the oven because it might not come out very well. Hi. Voila. Perfect. All right, we're going to let this cool completely, and then we have a glaze that we'll put on top. I'll bring you back later.
Big donut.
Does kind of look like a giant donut. All right, we'll see you soon. Okay, our cake has completely cooled, and now we're going to make the glaze that we're going to drizzle on top. P.S. This is also excellent without any glaze, but we're going to gild the lily today. In this bowl, I have 1 cup of powdered sugar, and then we're just going to do a few teaspoons of milk at a time to add in, because it doesn't take long for powdered sugar to get too runny if you add too much liquid. We'll try that first. I can tell because it's still pretty thick. We're going to need some more, but I'm just going to do a little bit at a time. Almost. I think a little bit more.
The cake looks delicious. Can't wait if you make one.
Okay, that looks about right. It's thick, but it's drizzleable. It's not a word, but you know what I mean. So now we're going to transfer this to our the covered cake stand, cake, what am I trying to say? Cake container. Cake carrier. And now, take this and drizzle it on top. And I like to let some go down the sides a little bit. Gosh, it smells so good. I guarantee you, if you make this cake, you're going to get compliments. I've never made this where I didn't get a lot of compliments.
Oh, I have had this before.
Okay, that's just the right amount. I think that looks good. Kind of drizzled down the sides. Yum. So give this a try. It's really easy you saw how easy it was to put together, and it's going to be a winner every time. Whether you consider it cinnamon wedding cake like I do, or cinnamon coffee cake, I think you're going to love it. So give this video a thumbs up if you liked cooking with me today and chatting. Subscribe if you haven't. It's free and it does help out my channel. And until next time, we'll see you later.
Bye-bye. I hope you liked Love Good Lane.